ever wondered if you and your horse are a good fit, or maybe you're about to buy a new horse and not sure where to start? In this video, we're going to go over 5 different personality types, which ones are the easier ones and which ones are the more challenging ones, and how to identify them. So if you're looking to buy a new horse or not sure why you and your horse are struggling together, then stay tuned to this video so we can go over the 5 different personality types and which one might be the best fit for you. Hi, I'm Meredith. I've been working with horses for over a decade now, working on large cattle ranches, doing everything from trail riding to dressage to cattle work to now caring for my own herd of 8 horses, plus a herd of working ranch horses here on the ranch. I've taken what I've learned caring for all of these horses to now helping my clients turn their horses from anxious, spooky, or thin into happy, healthy, willing working partners. Once I started applying these principles from traditional Chinese medicine about the 5-element theory to my horses, I was able to help them and ask better questions when problems arose. I was able to identify their strengths and weaknesses and how to be proactive in their care. So without further ado, let's get started. So let's start with one of the easier going personality types. That would be the earth horse. Earth horses, the best way to remember them is that they're like salt of the earth. These are your easygoing, happy-go-lucky sort of personalities. They just want to get along. They love attention and they love food. That's a good way to identify if something's off with your horse. If your earth horse is not hungry, not interested in eating, this is a red flag that something's going on with them that you probably ought to investigate. These type of personalities, they will internalize their emotions or their fears or whatever and go inward because, again, they just want to get along and go with the flow. Additionally, one way to identify them is that they have big heads. So they have big heads, big muscles, large bones, and they're easy keepers. These are not very refined looking type horses. They're a little bit heavier type horses. So this is something to be aware of, and they make, like I said, they make great beginner horses if you're looking for something that's a little bit easier to get along with. So another personality type that's pretty easy to get along with are the mettle horses. These horses are very matter-of-fact, by the book. They make really great ranch horses, work horses. They really are not affectionate. So this ties into, is your horse a good fit for you? A lot of people want their horses to be affectionate, to come to them for support or, affection. And so these are not going to be the horses that are into that. They might tolerate it, but they're not into affection. They really just want to get the job done, understand what it is, and do what they need to do. So something to bear in mind if you do like horses that are very attention needy or etc., because this horse is not going to give you that. They tend to have a broad forehead, a broad nose, a broad chest, and a good hair coat. And they, again, like the earth horse, they tend to internalize their emotions as well. So these horses are very stoic horses. You have to keep a close eye on them because they will try and hide any sort of pain, any sort of fear or whatever it is that they're experiencing, and they will take it inward because, again, they just want to kind of go with the flow. So something to be aware of with these personality types because they don't really act out like some of the other ones that are a little bit more challenging. So number 3 is the fire horse. These horses can be beginner friendly when they're in balance, when everything's going well for them, but they can become more challenging horse when they're under a lot of stress or their health is out of alignment, so to speak. So when they're in balance, these horses are very affectionate, they're very sensitive to verbal praise, and on the flip side is that they're very sensitive to negative talk about them as well. They love to be groomed. Typically, they have a very refined look. They have a small, refined head. They might have ears that point inward. They tend to be finer boned, and they just generally are a little bit more refined, kind of typey like horses. When they're out of balance, this is when they can become more challenging. They will be prone to anxiety. So they might be high-headed, they might be very anxious, and additionally they might have a temper tantrum where they might act out and feel sorry afterwards. So these horses also love to perform, but they can be very hot and they can be very sensitive. So again, something to bear in mind. They're wonderful horses. I have plenty of them myself, but again, that's something to bear in mind if you can be a little bit of an unsure rider. Number 4 is the wood horse. So Wood horses can be very challenging horses because these horses are very willful, they're very forward, they can be very stubborn, and they, when they're in balance, they can be wonderful horses like the fire horse. They love competition, they love to compete, they're very competitive type horses. They're very fun horse for people who really want to get out there and go do something with their horse. However, on the flip side of that, when things are not going well, when they're under a lot of stress or out of balance, they can be, like I said, willful. They can be pushy, and these are the kind of horses that can be aggressive. So a wood horse, like the fire horse, will have a temper tantrum and be sorry, whereas the wood horse, these horses will really push you, and they will take an argument all the way out to the end. So you better, if you're going to pick a fight with the wood horse, you better be prepared to really see it through, because these horses will challenge you, and they need a rider that's going to be more confident and firmer with them, because a rider or a handler that's going to be very easily pushed over, unsure, probably is not going to get along with these horses too well. The best way to identify the wood horse is by their eye. They have these big, friendly sort of eyes, but on the flip side, what I've noticed is that they can have this really doughy, beautiful, kind of soft, nice looking eye, but then it can also turn very mean. Additionally, these horses, they have a little bit of a narrower chest, but like kind of a leaner type build as well. If you see aggression, horses that are acting aggressively, this is a very good indicator that they probably have a wood type personality. So last but not least is the water horse. These horses you can think of like water, basically. They are beautiful movers. They love to move out. They're very athletic. They're very strong-willed. They like to go do things. And they're very super sensitive horses, which is also what make them more of a challenging horse that really needs a strong rider. These horses can be prone to fear. And so these, if there's something that goes wrong, they will be out of there, faster than you can shake a stick at. So they really need a rider or a handler that they can trust and that can carry a little bit of confidence for them. Once you have that bond, they're amazing, but it's something to be aware of for unsure riders or unconfident riders, because these horses really require somebody that, really is a strong, skilled rider. These horses typically have, they're of average size. They have deep eyes. They have a little bit narrower chest and big ears. Again, these are the horses that they might lead to bolting if they're fearful. They can be needy if out of alignment or physically weak. So something to be aware of with this personality type as well. They are wonderful athletic type horses, but can be very challenging for someone who is a little bit less experienced. Okay guys, so I hope that's helpful. I hope it gives you some clarity. If you're interested in learning more about these horse personality types, what their strengths are, what their weaknesses are, physically and emotionally, then join my free community. I'll link it in the description here, where we talk about this stuff. It's a very pivotal part of how I care for my own horses, and it's a very fun study if you're just interested in learning more. All right guys, thanks so much. We'll see you next time.